Thanks, John.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll see you later, bro.
Right.
Talk tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure this on the phone before I get started in this conversation this morning. Good morning. Who's this? Okay. Nobody. I keep telling people, see if you hang on there for a while. You get. Okay. That's the microphone right there. Say something. You can come a little closer to it because it don't really move. Now, say hello to the folks.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Ooh, got that. Who's that guy that always steals everybody's girlfriend? Tyrone. You got that Tyrone voice. It's called Tyrone. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that is Stacy Whitehurst. Stacy is the eldest son of Bernard Whitehurst, and the reason why I invited him up here today, because we've been trying for years to get this family some recompense for what happened. We're not blaming anybody that's there today, because this is not about blaming folks and all. This is about correcting a wrong that every administration since I have been in this city has pretty much ignored. Okay, we have gone to all parts of America, D.C., protesting wrongs. But when it comes to Montgomery, Alabama, we seem to have a difficult time protesting what happened here on December the 2nd, 1975. Okay? And on that day, his father, which was suspected to be, at least that's what the police said, that there was a burglary, a robbery or something at some store. And the general description, if you listen to it, sounded like every black man walking down the street. Okay? It just did. The police a lot of police knew who Mr. Whitehurst was. So, but he ran, they said he ran, and they shot him in the back. Shot him in the back. He didn't have a weapon. And what they did was, somebody went to the police station, and right here in Montgomery, got a gun, which at that time they called it a throwdown gun. And rather than tell the complete truth, some police officers quit, okay, in Montgomery. I think one or two took the lie detector test. I'm not sure. Three of them took it. Did they pass it or not? Do you know?
Well, it was more than three. I think it was at least 12. Some passed and some didn't. Mm-hmm. And then you had three that was lied up on the stand to, I think it was the grand jury, and they was actually charged for perjury.
For perjury, right? Yes. For perjury, but not murder, not anything like that. And they went to trial.
Yes. But
the trial, the jury, and it was 1975. Now, me being from Indiana, I'm thinking 1975 is modern time. It's the time where, okay, everybody, we 20 years from the Rosa Parks thing, the civil rights. We're about 10 years actually from the Civil Rights Act. Yes. So we figure, okay, so I'm thinking 75. Okay, we get to go.
Well, actually, it was 76 and 77.
But that was the trial. But the incident happened
in 75.
Right, happened in 75. But anyway, so let me set up. What happened is that we found a video piece in audio, and I extracted the audio from Bill Baxley, who was the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Alabama, as well as the state's Attorney General, who had to come in on that investigation and pretty much give Jimmy Evans a hand, because Jimmy Evans was under barrage from his own police department in the city of Montgomery. What is our hope here? What I hope here is that there's no, and I know that the lawyer at that particular time, who right now is in Hoosgow, but under something totally different, tried to go for the whole barrel of wax at one time, and he took it to federal court as opposed to starting locally. And I guess what the judge said, you don't get two bites at the apple. But one of the most heartless things, even though it may have been technically true, but one of the most heartless things, my understanding the judge said, was the reason why you could not get bring the trial to federal court because for a civil rights violation is because the judge said you don't have any civil rights if you're dead.
Yes, the judge basically said corpse doesn't have civil rights.
Right. Because when they threw the gun down,
it was after his death.
After he died.
But my question was, and still is, who confirmed that he was dead?
Well, that's true too. But that is one of the most heartless things I think I've ever heard. Even though technically I guess the judge was right, but justice doesn't have a time limit. They eventually posthumously pardoned some of the Scottsboro boys during that time. But again, so the question on the table: why does not the city of Montgomery have fulfilled its responsibility to this family? They murdered Bernard Whitehurst. They murdered him. Not anybody there now. We not. But we are still the same city. We are still under the same charter. They didn't change the name of Montgomery. It is still Montgomery, Alabama. And Montgomery, Alabama owes this family something. What that is, they'll have to get together and talk about it. Okay? Now, I would believe if there's one advantage to having a black mayor in the city of Montgomery, if there's one, and I think it's the only advantage, is that he can be empathetic to the things that happened back in 75. Now, one of the city's big complaints is that, well, if we open up this gate, then a lot more things come through. Well, listen, wrong is wrong. And if more than one person had been done wrong all these years, then I think they all need some satisfaction. Yes. But right now, we're talking about Bernard White, the Whitehurst family.
Yes, I want to bring something out. Mm-hmm. Back here this year in April, we called down to the city and and asked for a meeting with the mayor. And the meeting took place, but the mayor wasn't there. He sent someone else. And so after that first meeting, they rescheduled another meeting, and that meeting was canceled in June. And then after that meeting, they scheduled another meeting, and that meeting was canceled about 2 days before Thanksgiving. Now, I don't know what is going on with all these meetings being canceled, and not only just that, my brother Bernard Whitehurst III, he even reached out to them even this week. They would not return phone calls. They would not answer the phone. They are not talking back to us.
But we have a mirage downtown, a mirage downtown in the center of the city that says Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we know, and they certainly matter, when government is involved in the taking of that life erroneously, illegally, and with malice and forethought.
Yes.
And so, again, do they matter or don't they?
Me, myself, personally, I be thinking about it, and I guess, my brother, me, my sister Tracy, Sheila, my mother, we all, this has been going on for so long.
You would think we want to put this thing to rest.
Yeah.
Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Morning. Fine.
I just think Mayor Reed, he don't want to do nothing about this. He lied when he was campaigning and said he was going to do something about it and get the thing settled. And now he's just dodging the bullet. There's no time limit on justice. And Mayor Reed, if he was about that life, Black Lives Matter, he'll know there's no time limit on justice. And he need to do what he need to do instead of trying to go in everybody's pocket. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is James, and I'm listening to what you all are talking about. But in order for the mayor to do anything, does it not have to be approved by the council?
That I do not know. I know the mayor is the administrator. I didn't hear that if the council approved giving Greg Gunn's family money. I don't know. I thought that was a mayor thing. But then again, I don't know. One of the members of the city council have to call us and let us know if they have to approve it. But I don't believe they do.
Okay. And I'm really kind of the opinion that it has to be signed off. He doesn't have total autonomy. But my point is that we're still in a city where we got a tremendous advantage in terms of the voting population, and yet the way that these districts have been set up, we still have more council representation that are non-black. And when you start running into situations like that, and I'd like for everybody to be cautious of their opinion of how they look at somebody if they aren't looking at the whole ball of wax. You can't do things when you got a minority voted to get your agenda done.
But you can't do things if you don't vote.
Well, that's true, but I'm saying that in terms of the council itself, we have more non-black council people than we do black.
Right, but
so you have to, from an administrative standpoint, you have to have their approval on many things, and we aren't sure on this one. So now we're standing kind of in judgment. I just like to know for real what the infrastructure shows.
But let me tell you what I have found. You see, you may be on city council, you may be on county commission, but if you work a job in this city, you are still, no matter what position you hold in the government, if you still have to depend on somebody else to write your check, you still are not at liberty to do the things that you need to do. And if you do it, it is going to take a courage that is almost impossible to come by.
Well, how do we account then for the poor senators and poor representatives that left here and went to Washington and came back multimillionaires?
It was greed. They cheated. I mean, there's no other way. They cheated, manipulated. What they've done may have been legal, but it certainly wasn't right. But that's the way it goes. And until people start voting, But right now,
this situation with Mr. Whitehurst, I think it's just inhumane for them not to correct it, and anybody that refuse to correct wrong mean that they will forever be wrong. You've got to at least admit that you are wrong and try and reconcile the circumstances. And that's what we just got. We got a bad situation here, especially not just in Montgomery, but in the South. Period.
Right,
we got
agree.
Representatives that won't even stand up for voting rights. And in Shelby County, I think I told you that the other day. Shelby County.
Now don't get me on that one. Now don't get me on that one. Now we're just gonna leave that alone because we whining about something up there and still don't vote. So let's get on to that one another day. Okay.
That'll work.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Kevin.
I'll take a break. When we come back, I am going to allow you guys to listen to the former Atty.General of the state of Alabama, as well as the former Lieutenant Governor of the state of Alabama, Bill Baxley, and let him give you in his own words what happened on this thing. And he couldn't understand why things worked out the way they did. We'll be back.
Well, it goes like this. For three, minor four, and the major live, the baffled king composes.
First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Hurry into Mattress Firm's year-end sale. Get a king bed for a queen price or a queen bed for a twin price. And
That's the fact, yeah! It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
back, everybody. I'm expecting a call from somebody. Somebody knows something about this, I guess. As soon as they call, who's calling us?
Joseph.
Joseph. Okay. Does he have intimate knowledge of any of these things around this? Okay. Well, I'll wait for him before we go to Bill Baxley. We're going to go to Bill Baxley. Yeah. If not this hour, the first part of the next hour, we'll go to it's only a 12-minute piece.
Right.
And we're going to go to him. Let him tell you in his own words. I think Bill Baxley passed, I believe. I don't think he's still alive at the moment. But, okay, so here's our guest right here. Is this you, Joseph?
Yes, it is.
Good morning. Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, what's on my mind is to just be with my friend this morning, Stacy Whitehurst. I understand he's supposed to be on your show, and I said, the Elk Man, you on his show? I better get on over there.
Yeah, you need to get over that. Yeah, most definitely. But he's here. Yeah, he's free. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can I just talk to y'all on the phone since I'm driving?
Yeah, you're on the air right now, so everybody hear you.
Oh, okay.
So what's up?
Well, just following my man's announcement that he was going to be on your show, so
okay.
Here I am.
Now, are you from Montgomery?
Not from Montgomery. I'm from Mobile, but I've been here for a long time. Now, Kevin, I don't know if you remember me or not, but you do remember Roberta Franklin.
Oh, absolutely. Roberta, I hate to admit it, but Roberta made me look and see if I still had a set. Roberta was tough.
Yeah.
So
she was tough, but like I said on her program, this is about justice and not just us. It wasn't about Roberta Franklin, but when I saw something being done wrong, I was on the air, and you called in when I was talking about the idiocy, the illogical means of dealing with somebody who had been accused of taking just a few dollars worth of food stamps, and then we were going to and then they wanted to give her 25 years in jail. That was stupid. So that's when I remember the last time I talked with you was when I was on her broadcast. And Lord knows she gave me some tough times too, but that didn't have anything to do with it. And that's why I stand with Stacy Whitehurst, is because some of the stuff that I'm hearing has nothing to do with the injustice that it seems to me was perpetrated against.
Right, and here's my problem. When I went to certain city councilmen who were on the city council at that time, they had the unmitigated gall to tell me they did not remember the incident.
Well,
okay, I mean, to look me in my face. As a matter of fact, the Washington Post did a story on this, and I had Myra McPherson, who was the reporter, on the show one day when she told me, and in the New York Post, or Washington, whichever one it was, it said, Alabama's Watergate. And this is not going, and even folks went to jail in this. A lot of folks went to jail on this thing, but nobody has spent a night behind bars because of this incident.
Exactly. And that's why I told Stacy if there's anything I can do, I want to do it, because I just don't understand it. One of the things that I quoted was from Melvin B. Tolson in his Dark Symphony. Mm-hmm. And for people who say they forgot, he had a poem that said, they tell us to forget the Golgotha we tread. We who are scourged with hate a price upon our heads. They who have shackled us require of us a song. They who have wasted us bid us overlook the wrong. They tell us to forget democracy is spurned. They tell us to forget the Bill of Rights is burned. 300 years we slaved, and we slave and suffer yet. Though flesh and blood rebel, oh, how can we forget? So what I'm saying is they tell us to forget. But anyway, I'm driving and trying to remember a poem, but at the same time, you can't forget that. And I just met Stacy, just a good week ago, and just just going and doing my own research. This is not something based on just what he told me, even though that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just the stories that I read on this, and just to see people like Bill Baxley and other prominent people who have commented on this thing, how in the world could we forget that? How could we stick our heads in the sand and ignore this? And I want you to know that if it had been certain folk in Montgomery, Alabama, they would not have forgotten it.
No,
Absolutely.
no, that's true.
That's true.
Well, man, listen, I appreciate you calling in, giving your support, but I personally, as long as I got this microphone, we are not going to let this go. Every couple of years it comes up. It's like a cloud. It's like God telling us, fix this.
That's
Do
right.
something about this.
Yeah.
Because how in the hell can we sit around and bring people into the city of Montgomery every day and brag about it, about the people who come see what happened in the past to people that we don't know? They were our ancestors and our brothers and sisters of the past, but things we know about. We can't do anything about it.
Kevin, I'm so glad to find out that you are on the case, that you're looking into this thing, because I know it's going to be looked into. And as I said before, and it's not just the policeman who killed Whitehurst, but one thing that we're afraid to talk about in this town and really in Alabama are the people, the lackeys who look like us, who go along with this, greasing their palms every day, trying to make money off of somebody else's misery. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm retired as a preacher now. I'm going to talk about the no-good prelate potentates and all of the rest of these crooks. And we need to just stand up and say we've got to do something about this. We cannot let this family suffer anymore by themselves.
That's right. To look me in my face and tell me that you don't remember something that is that prolific that happened in this city on December the 2nd on a cold winter day, and you don't remember when the Washington Post, Bill Baxley, the former lieutenant governor, and the attorney general, everybody knows about it, to tell me you don't remember it. I mean, listen,
that's a cut
that is just an insult to the average intelligence of anybody. Hell, I know about it.
Stay on it, Kevin. Stay on it, man.
Yeah.
Just stay on it, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, I plan to until Stephen or somebody does something about this.
That's right.
And I appreciate your call, but until somebody do something about it. Okay. Well, I don't have enough time to play it, but we'll play this spot next time. We'll revisit the former Lieutenant Governor of the state of Alabama and the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, Bill Baxley. Let him explain to you what his thoughts are on this. And he specifically, when he was doing an oral history interview, don't know when it was done, but he specifically brought up this case as one of those cases that he just didn't quite get, But I'll tell you something else. Now, let me give a little kudos to Kevin Murphy. It was not until I brought it up a few years ago, that nobody went to your mother's house.
That's right.
For 38 years. Nobody showed up at your mom's house to tell her what happened.
That's right.
What? How in God's name can you do that?
Right.
But Kevin Murphy.
Yes, Kevin Murphy.
When we brought it up, I'll go Ray Hell about this. Somebody did something. He went out finally. How can you kill a human being with kids and a wife and not go to their house till 38 years later?
4 small kids, yes.
That is inhuman. That is unconscionable. I don't know if there's any more words I can use, adverbs, pronouns, whatever you call those words, to use. How did that happen? But we so worried about the Floyd guy. Bless his soul too. But Floyd had a past that did not put him in the greatest position. But Mr. Whitehurst, he just walking down the street, getting off work, working,
walking home,
and to tell me that you don't remember, what an insult to all black folks who have suffered and died for the freedoms that we have gained.
Yeah,
I don't get this, and it's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away.
Good morning.
Good morning. But 3 or 4 years ago, when we were first talking about this stuff, Bill Baxley is a member of a law firm in Birmingham. I called and asked to speak to him to try to find out about this case. I didn't hear from him about a week and figured he didn't call me, but I heard from him in a week. He called me. He'd been on a cruise in Europe. Bill Baxley was Attorney-General at that time. What happened, Bernard Whitehurst he's had public problems, but the police came up and he took off running. They shot him, which at that time under fleeing felon law was not illegal. What they did was they threw down a gun. That's illegal. But no one admitted to it. There was trouble. Bill Baxley, in a racial time, was Attorney General, came to Alabama and took on the case. And he couldn't get a conviction on the people. But what he did got an agreement that everybody was fired.
Not everybody. Everybody wasn't fired.
No, not
everybody.
And
I got
to. You don't know a thing about the case.
I got
no effort to learn.
No.
So I'm not listening to you. Because obviously you don't know.
No, he don't know. And then my father was not a fleeing
right.
felon.
You don't know by which you speak. When we come back, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna let you listen to Bill Baxley in his own words.
Baxley was a brave guy who came and tried.
This is not about Bill. This is not about him. I know, but this is not about him.
Then you had Donald Watkins come in and try to make it a federal case. But what I don't understand, he didn't sue on behalf of Bernard's mother. He sued on behalf of Bernard's mother. I don't understand if they were married at the time, how she had standing, the mother of him.
Yes,
anyway,
there was definitely
federal
married.
court and law.
Yeah.
There was $100,000 offered to the mother.
I've never. Show me where that happened.
Because you don't know it, don't mean it ain't true.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's a total lie right there. That's not true. They ain't offered us nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Nothing anybody else says is not true, but
no, that's not true. Just rumors. That's just rumors.
But anyway, when we come back, we'll play what Bill Baxley said. I got the audio right here. Good morning. Who's this? Hello. All right, nobody's there. I just hate when people tell you what you know, when they don't know.
They don't know.
You know, I mean, I heard Bill Baxley in his own mind. He said
his own words.
Right. Some 3 officers, I think, quit because they did not want to take.
Yeah, they just walked away. They refused to take the lie detector test.
And the 2 who were charged with perjury.
3 of them were charged with perjury.
Couldn't get a conviction. And they tried them twice or 3 times. They couldn't get because at that time.
That's right.
Unfortunately, it was 1975, and I'm up in Indiana thinking it's all cool, but it ain't all cool.
No, it wasn't all cool.
You know, I'm 18
That's
years
what they
old.
want people to think it was all cool, but it wasn't all cool.
So you could not evidently get a conviction of a police officer shooting a black man in the back in 1975.
No, not here.
Okay, so I guess but they got charged with throwing the gun down and not murder.
Yeah, that's right.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. Good morning.
I just saw your book. Showed my son your book 2 days ago.
Yes.
I told him he needed to read it, and it's really such a coincidence that you're on the phone. But Youself, the man that called in earlier,
yes.
Did you hear what he said about the people in this city?
Yes.
How he characterized them.
Yes.
A lot of those people who are in political positions now, as you well know, that's how they got their start.
Yes, absolutely.
Off the death of your father.
Yes. You're right.
And see, people don't realize that. They remember.
Use my father's death for their own personal gain.
And and they still are doing that.
Yeah, they're still doing it.
And that's what made, and that's why, and I tell white people this all the time, you all are the ones that made these folks the leaders of the black people. They are not our leaders. They gave them the power that they think that they have now. Joe Reed.
Yeah, he said he don't remember.
I mean,
that.
That man remembers that.
Lord have mercy.
It's almost as if
he remembers. he remembers all of that. Anybody that was in this city remembers that. I don't care if you have praise all the way.
I agree with you 100%.
Everybody knew about that.
Yes.
And the lies that they told. Everybody in the black community assumed that was your family, your immediate family, your mother. Gas station. Yes. Everybody in the black community until I heard you on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that are lies out there, but every black politician, John Knight, Hammond, everybody, because that's why we have a mayor, city council form of government now behind all of that.
Well.
So you just keep your head up.
I will.
You keep telling the truth.
Yes.
Don't let them keep trying to cover it up. Because you know what? Promises were made by the mayor of the city of Montgomery,
That's
Stephen
right.
Reed.
Yes, it was made. He didn't keep his promise. No, he didn't.
You're not a man, okay? You're not a real man.
He won't even return the phone calls.
Oh, he's known for that.
Yes.
He says he has people working for him, so he doesn't have time for, just like a king or something.
Well,
he has a Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Keep telling your truth.
I will.
That's what you do.
I'm gonna keep pushing it. It's gonna go big.
Tell your story.
Yes. I'm gonna let everybody. I'm gonna let the world know what this city's doing here in Montgomery.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
under the management of who? Black people.
Yes.
Doing it to who? Black folks. Okay, but you hang in there, okay?
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. I mean, there's something to be said when people don't go to your house for 38 years and tell you what they've done. I mean, that's hits up right there.
There's a lot.
They need to fix this. Good morning, on air.
Well, I see all, and know all. Have a good day, my friends.
All righty then. Anyway, when we come back in the beginning of the next hour to break and everything, we are going to take you to Bill Baxley, who is Lieutenant Governor. At that, I guess I don't know if he was Attorney General during 1975 or whatever, but at some point he was Attorney General, and then he was Lieutenant Governor. He dealt with this case. He had to come down, and I didn't find out till yesterday that Jimmy Evans was under barrage by his own police department, threatening him, doing all kind of things because he was trying to get to, As a matter of fact, they said that they accidentally found out that the gun that was thrown down belonged to the Montgomery Police Department. I don't know how they found out. He said Bill Baxley, I'm not Bill Baxley, Evans didn't even consider that because they just, all the policemen, and that's just because you get a bunch of policemen say something doesn't make it true.
That's right.
So a bunch of policemen said, it was self-defense. But it wasn't self-defense. I mean, how's it going to be self-defense anyway when you shoot a guy in the back?
Right.
I mean, really, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so much for that. Again, though, it may have been legal, but it doggone sure wasn't right to shoot a man in the back who don't have a gun.
That's right.
Who didn't have anything to threaten you with. Okay? I mean, I got pulled out of my car one night. I didn't have a gun either, but I sure took a case of whoop ass because they gave it to me. Okay? So I got to tell you, not in Montgomery, though. Thank God, not in Montgomery. But so the police don't need to shoot you to get you under control.
That's right.
Okay? Good can of whoop ass make you shut up real quick. Trust me, it did me. I didn't say nothing. I was like a mouse after taking that ass whooping. So I got to tell you, but let them do it now. Okay, I'm joking. Now, don't y'all do it now. Don't y'all do it now, brother. Don't do it. Hey, gotta take a break. We'll come back. And when we come back, we'll take you to Bill Baxley, the former Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General of the City of Alabama. Get his thoughts on this.
Like the river I've been running.
That man come.
Running ever since. It's been a long time coming. But I know change gonna come. Oh, yes.
Change gonna come. We're calling on the mayor and the city council of the city of Montgomery to make that change and do something for the Whitehurst family. Stop whining. Have some courage. Let's get this done. We'll be back.
I don't know what
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis.
And Mike Durant for U.S. Senate.
I'm Mike Durant, a candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Durant for Senate.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial, The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And good morning, everybody. Now, I'm not going to bring my guest back on right now, because what we are going to do, I've been promising this all morning. Bill Baxley, the former Lieutenant Governor of state of Alabama, as well as the Atty.General, when it came to this case, we're going to join him in process right now on an interview he did with, I forgot the guy's name he did it with, but it was an oral history of Bill Baxley. So we're going to, let me turn this other stuff down here so I can get this thing squared away here, because, you know, I'm not very good at technology sometimes. Then other times, I'm phenomenal. But this ain't one of those times. Anyway, now it's a little bit, because I had to grab it off YouTube and all that stuff, it ain't as clear as it ought to be. So please pay close attention, okay, to this. So here we go. Bill Baxley on the Bernard Whitehurst case in 1976, I think. Well, it happened in 1975, but they went to trial, I believe, in 76 or 77.
Right.
And but here is his analysis of that case.
In the first part of your oral history, you told us about having defended law enforcement officers that you thought were in the right, even though they had been charged criminally. Sheriff Lucius Amerson, for example, in Macon County, who was being prosecuted by a United States attorney for a civil rights violation. And you also had occasion to prosecute law enforcement officers that you believe were in the wrong. And I'm referring now to the Bernard Whitehurst case. If you could, tell us about that case and how you came to become involved in it.
Okay. Bernard Whitehurst was a young black male that lived here in Montgomery, and there had been a robbery at I think it was a convenience store, and so the Montgomery police were on the alert for a robber, and it was a description that generally described the way Whitehurst looked. And so a patrol car, Montgomery patrol car, saw Whitehurst walking down the street, and they thought he looked like he matched the description of that possible robbery suspect. So an officer got out of the car, and Whitehurst started running and ran away from him. And so the officer pulled out his service revolver and shot Whitehurst in the back. And so when they went over to the sergeants came over and they started investigating, they realized that he wasn't, it became apparent the closer they looked that he wasn't the robbery suspect, and he didn't have a weapon on him. And so Montgomery police, as it turned out, this was not the first time this has ever been done, but they had to get what they call a drop gun. So they went down to evidence locker or whatever they had at the Montgomery Police Department and got a pistol and came and dropped it out by Whitehurst before they moved his body, and concocted this story that he had pulled a gun and the officer shot in self-defense. And the DA in Montgomery County was Jimmy Evans. And Jimmy was a classmate of mine, and eccentric in some ways, but his heart was right on civil rights. He was that way in school. One of the handful that I remember felt like I did back when we were students. And Jimmy just routinely put every death on the grand jury docket, and the grand jury would investigate it. And so they were investigating this Whitehurst death and had no reason to think anything wrong of it, and the officers all came up and testified under oath before the grand jury falsely. They said that Whitehurst had pulled a pistol and was in self-defense and blah, blah, blah. And so somehow or other, just by accident, I don't think that Jimmy was even suspicious, but it popped up that weapon, serial number on that weapon, had been seized earlier and was in the possession of the Montgomery Police Department. And it had to be a drop gun, a planted gun. And so Jimmy started investigating them then, and the Montgomery Police Department, or some people there, started doing some really horrible things to Jimmy Evans. And they started following him around, harassing him with calls, making threats, cutting his tires. And they were doing some pretty terrible things to Jimmy, who was the DA. And I had kind of gotten crossways with Jimmy, because he'd asked for our help as Attorney-General several times, and we'd come in each time and helped him. And Jimmy was not the easiest person to work with. He wanted to do things his way, and I wanted things to be done our way. And so I told Jimmy that I wasn't going to come take any more cases in his office. And then when this came up, and Jimmy came up there in my office, and when I found out what was happening to him and what Montgomery Police had been doing, I said, "All right, Jimmy, we'll come in and I'll take it on personally," because it shocked me, and you could not allow that kind of situation to develop where a prosecutor's doing his duty, and then law enforcement are doing the things to the prosecutor like they were doing to Jimmy. It was similar to what we discussed the other day up in Talladega, that the sheriff was doing to judges. So I had good contacts at the Montgomery Police Department, and I called some leaders that I knew down there, met them for a drink, and I said, "Look, I'm taking over this investigation, and this kind of stuff that y'all doing to Evans ain't going to work with me, and you know it ain't going to work, and all you're going to do is get folks in a lot worse trouble." And I said, "Well, we got state troopers just like y'all got policemen. They got just as many guns as y'all do, and this stuff better stop." And I said, "We're going to do this straight up, and we're going to do it right, and we're not going to charge anybody that hadn't done anything, and but all this stuff, like what y'all doing to Evans, is better stop, and it better stop right now." And it did. And we never had any more instances of that. And we came in, got to the bottom of it, and got indictments against several of the officers eventually. I can't remember how many. Two I know, maybe more. And for some reason, though, the hierarchy at the Montgomery Police Department and the mayor thought people were innocent, or whatever they thought. They defended the officers, and the city hired their defense lawyers. And so it got pretty heated, and we got the grand jury actively involved with possibly doing something to a good number of people down there for what they had done, among other things, to Jimmy Evans. And so one thing led to another, and finally, the president of the city council was Emory Farmer. The mayor was Jim Robertson. And Jim was a good mayor, I thought, very presentable, made a good impression for the city. But he was lock, stock, and barrel defending, and I think he really believed them, the officers. Emory was more pragmatic, and I think Emory wasn't as. I think Jim was a very active Sunday school type, and he believed people whatever they told him. Emory was tough. I mean, he was. I'm not saying he didn't go to Sunday school too, but he was a tough guy, and you didn't. Emory just came in and took over negotiations for the city, and he agreed that whoever I submitted, he would require them to submit to a polygraph by an expert of our choosing, our agreement. And we agreed on this expert that we'd used before out in San Diego named Cleve Baxter. So any of them that didn't pass the polygraph would be fired or resign. A couple of them resigned rather than take it. A couple of them failed the polygraph. We'd take them to San Diego. I must have made 8 or 10 trips to San Diego during all this. And so it ended up with the mayor resigning, and Emory became the mayor. And then the police chief resigned, and then various other in the hierarchy that it turned out had some knowledge of this resigned, and we indicted the officers that had actually committed the perjury. The only offenses we felt like that were strong enough were the actual perjury of the lying to the Montgomery grand jury. And so we tried those cases, I think, 3 times. And it was a hung jury every time. I know we tried it twice. I think maybe 3 times. And it became obvious that we weren't ever going to get a conviction, and also they weren't ever going to get an acquittal. So we ended up, after everybody that had any hand in it had retired or resigned or left the police department, then we dismissed the cases. And I think that those cases there, plus one more that I tried in Tuscumbia, I think they're the only jury cases that I prosecuted when I was Attorney General that I didn't get convictions on. But we got either 2 or 3 mistrials in those cases. And I'm not sure. The Whitehurst family might have sued the city after that, and but of course we weren't involved in that. I'm not sure what happened in that regard.
That was in 1976.
Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by SmartMap, the only 24-hour. The battery's not.
I just want you guys to hear the former Attorney General and Lieutenant Governor of the state of Alabama and his analysis of this whole thing. You know, I just figured out how many days ago this happened. It has been 16,800 days since December the 2nd, 1975 until this day. And at 16,800, almost 17,000 days, and still no one has been held accountable for what happened to their dad. The Attorney General, and even then, even his trial was about perjury. It wasn't about the death of this young man. And 32 years old, you're a young man. So, I'm calling on our city council people, every last one of them, Jen Wright, Pruitt, what's the other guy's name that's on District 7? What is his name? The young guy, real young guy. Him too. I'll figure that name out in a minute. And, Brantley Lyons, we need to make this right. We don't need to go to another year, okay? 16,000 days have passed since this has been dealt with. And it took 38 years for somebody to finally show up at Mrs. Whitehurst's house. 38. I want to let that sink that in. 38 years after the incident, somebody finally shows up at the house, and if I hadn't been raising hell about it, it never would have happened. Okay, so I'm going to give my good friend Kevin Murphy some oomph here because he did it. Okay, good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Kevin.
Yes.
Good morning, Brother Whitehurst.
Good morning.
Brother, thank you here. Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Murphy showed up and he caught hell, like Brother Jimmy Evans was saying that, Bill Baxley, Jimmy Evans caught a lot of hell. See, Jimmy Evans used to live up the street from me. I remember Jimmy Evans when I was a little boy, his family. Now, but did you listen, did you hear what he was saying? Did you really hear what Bill Baxley was saying? But he told them other clansmen, we got just as many guns you can have because I'm over there.
That's what he said.
He said, now I'm over there. The state trooper department. See, now you say, Kevin, you like to talk about Democrats, but he was a real true Democrat, him and his wife, but they didn't play. He said Jim Evans kind of easy going, and Jim Robinson, he's a Sunday school teacher. Mel Plum was kind of like a redneck, like he told y'all he was. But let me say this. And I was listening to this. And thanks for Brother Whitehurst.
Yes, sir.
Tell your mom I say hi and I send my love to her and I'm praying for her because she's going through this. Kevin, I want you and Brother Whitehurst the other day. I don't know, was it in Detroit or one of them other cities up there? The police bust in a lady's house and they bust in the wrong house. And she was naked.
Oh, that happened a couple of years ago. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
but wait a minute. Listen what happened. Listen what the city council did.
Okay.
I'm getting here.
Okay.
And they bust in the wrong house and they handcuff her. Low-down bastard. She let her stood there naked.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't put no clothes on her or nothing. Eventually, they say they put a blanket around her, okay?
Right.
But that whole city council
They gave her $2 million. They gave her $2 million.
Okay, was it $2 million more?
Yeah.
I'm saying this. I'm looking at that city council down there.
That's right.
I believe that city council. I don't see no reason why the city council now should not vote 9 city council members.
That's right.
To give this Whitehurst.
That's right.
Family. Because these is your modern white and black. These are your educated white and black, okay?
Mm-hmm.
See, now these ain't these tobacco chewing, redneck backwood, the one that called us N-word out in the opening. But now, when I look at them, and I'm quite sure a lot of your call and thank brother this morning, they're said behind our back. I believe all of them, and I believe Brother Reed would give the Whitehurst stuff, but they stopping him from giving the Whitehurst family. It's that city council. They won't vote for it. If they vote for it,
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard them say that.
Listen. I didn't say you heard that. I didn't say they said. I said you compare them with the people that was in Detroit and what we know Bill Baxley said was wrong. You said it's something wrong. Make it right. You are brother. Make it right. Make the white family whole. And I think if I'm looking at my mind, I don't know all of them down there, but the Calhoun, you know all of them.
Right.
Don't you believe they will vote to solve this case with the Whitehurst family?
I would have to. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, these folks are intelligent, educated white folks and black folks. All of them supposed to have some kind of college, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what they say.
That's
See?
what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they
So
say.
now, and I think Mr. Reed, and I'm going to get off, but I think Mr. Reed, he's a man from Mohawk. I don't think he has no problem with it. But those city council people and the outside people that were Bill Baxley was talking about, the one that threatened and cut ties, they the one would stop them from doing it. I think they'll do it.
Right. I'm not letting this Stephen Reed off the hook that easily.
Oh, no, I didn't say let him off the hook.
Right, but he has fought for gay rights, which is cool.
I believe he'll do it.
But he hasn't done it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Kevin. I heard you offer the man $1,000 or $5,000. I believe that if you talk to Brother Reed, if he get those city council people to say yes, I believe he'll sign the check.
Okay. Well, I know they signed the one for the gun family, so I know
they'll sign the check.
Okay.
Now that's a teller to you, and you can get it done. All I want is a 2-piece box.
Okay. Well, if they do it, I'll get you. If they do, I'll get you a 2-piece.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No problem. One more call, then I got to let my friend go here. Good morning, on air.
Good morning, Mayor.
Morning.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Because that case ended with a hung jury, that case can be retried. Constitutionally, it can be retried. So whether you would be able to convict anybody because they're dead, the case, and there's no statute of limitations on murder, but at least...
But they weren't charged with murder, though. They're just charged with
perjury.
Perjury.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, though, it could be, because it was a hung jury, there's no reason that they couldn't open a new case. There's no...
And the way to get there is because of the hung jury on the perjury.
Well, you wouldn't even have to go to the perjury. I mean, you could go to the murder case.
Right, because
it's never been tried.
Essentially, it's still open.
Right,
I mean,
absolutely.
in a haphazard kind of way because it was a hung jury.
Right.
Exactly, but on the perjury, but he never was tried. They never were tried in a present case to the grand jury on a murder. But the thing about it is, I mean, I don't know if you went to the police chief that was from Atlanta that didn't have any ties to Montgomery, but the police department could open a cold case and
they have done that.
Evidence.
And they have done that, except they haven't done it on this case.
And so then that information could be presented to the DA's office. And if there's any new witnesses or any witnesses that were scared back then that might come forward now, that information could be presented to a grand jury. So even if you didn't get a conviction, at least you would get the information out there in front of the public, which might...
Who would be responsible? Wouldn't Daryl Bailey have to be the one to initiate that?
No, the district, they could, the DA's office could. Right. They could open their own investigation, but the Montgomery Police Department could, they could open a cold case and then they could turn that evidence over to the DA's office and they'd make a determination whether they were
going to could charge somebody. Right?
Well, most of the people are dead.
Right. But
most of them are dead, but some you still have some still alive.
But everybody knows that this was a wrongful death.
Well, that's why, separate from perjury, wrongful death, manslaughter, murder, whatever, that could be open fresh. That's all.
Right, but even though what's-her-name went to court already for a violation of his civil rights, and I guess they did that. They did that with prejudice. I guess I don't know.
I don't know whether that was federal or whether that was
federal.
State.
That was federal.
Okay, so you wouldn't have I don't think you'd have a double jeopardy issue if you tried it in the state courts.
Well, that is something we can check in to get a lawyer on here and tell us. I know we play one on the radio, but I know we're really not lawyers. I mean,
well, one more thing before I get off.
Yeah.
Kevin Murphy called hell when he apologized to Congressman Lewis, and there was a lot of bad blood that was going on at the time. But Congressman Lewis said he was the only law enforcement officer in this country that ever apologized to him. So not only did he do it long overdue once, he did it twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all have a good day.
Okay,
Thank you for calling.
All right, then. I want to take one more call, then I'm going to let Stacy, he got to go. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Kevin. This is Dr. Shrink.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say real quick, I kind of came in on the end part of the conversation, but, I think it was Brother Cynthia you had on there. Those folks should be compensated. I mean, we can get all political and everything, but those families should be compensated, and because their loved ones are no longer here, and can't replace their life, but they should be compensated.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees with that. A reasonable intelligence.
And take that to the city council and let them, sign a check. Like you said, let them sign a check. And those powers or those entities that's behind the scenes that's working against these families, if there's anybody who may be racist or anything of that nature, call them out, pull them out publicly, so that people need to know.
That's right.
They need to know. Folks, they take a rock and they take a rock and they throw it and hide their hand. And then we got to publicly call those folks out, those individuals, those companies, those entities that are not right, and expose them and don't do business with them. Financially, don't do business with them. They need to be exposed. They need to be dealt with in that fashion. And like Jerry Maguire, you got show me the money. Show me the money.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. Stacy, thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Let's do this again until what did Martin Luther King say, till justice rolls down the hill like he said, till justice rolls down the hill like a water, something. Okay, I won't quote Martin Luther King this morning, but I know he said something like, in other words,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I know. And don't ever quit. Don't ever stop. As long as I got a microphone, we're going to bring this up until this city does something about this.
Yes, well,
because it won't go away.
No, it's not going to go away.
Kind of like we said off the air. The dog craps in the room in the back of the house. At some point,
yes,
if the crap stays on the floor, at some point, the whole house smells.
That's right.
We don't like what we're smelling in the city of Montgomery. Okay, we don't like that. It's time to do something about this. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. I got to take got to take a break, and we'll come back.
All right, thank you.
Now I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord to the ring care. The music, do ya? Well, it goes like this.
Corporation of the South and Mr. John Williams. He gonna tell you how he can help you. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing excelente.
Excelente. I like it when you put that little
Spanish thing
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a buddy of mine. He'd say, you know what? I don't want to go shopping anywhere that has like a E on the end, like the shops at such and such. I said, why is that? He said, it means the price goes up. I said,
amen, brother.
I tell you, I don't know how many times, Kevin, and you folks out there listening, just in conversation, you've spoken with someone. Hey, how you doing today? How's your week going? How's your day going? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I just been putting out fires today. I think you've probably heard that expression before, and I want to tell you, that's something we don't do a lot of. Mortgage Corporation of the South, we're a complete mortgage and loan center on top of the mountain in Wetumpka, and I can tell you right now, that's a happy place. We've created a happy environment to work, It's a happy environment for customers to come in and get loans. It's just a great place. And those fires you're talking about, people talk about, we just don't have those things. We don't have those problems because, you know, we take care of our customers. We get right to it. We answer the phone. No one's going to be mad because we didn't call them back. No one's going to be mad because they're having to talk to someone in another distant land somewhere. Nobody's going to be mad because they've been passed off to somebody else. They're going to be happy. They're going to be happy because they called a place where the people that work there care. And, you know, that's so uncommon these days. You find a company, you know, that really cares. I was on the line yesterday for 2.5 hours collectively with a utility company trying to get a problem fixed. That is so frustrating, so frustrating. But at Mortgage Corporation of the South, let's just sum it up by saying whether you need a mortgage on your home and you have good credit, whether it's to buy a home or refinance one, or you have less than perfect credit. Maybe you need an equity loan. You need an equity loan on your home if your home is paid for or almost paid for, or maybe you have an automobile, 2014 or newer, that's paid for or almost paid for. You need to get your hands on a little bit of money and rebuild your credit at the same time. That's fine. People borrow money all the time at MCS for home improvement, new roofs, new fish layer and heat, I mean, whatever it is that you need. So just remember, whether your credit's perfect or not so perfect, whether you need a loan on your real estate or your automobile, we're just a phone call away. You can call that happy place at 567-9000, 567-9000. One more time. Ingrain it in your head. Ingrain it in your brain. 567-9000. That's pretty easy. Company NMLS number is 232876. Equal housing lender. You know what? I was just letting you sit back and sip your coffee and just rest on that one today, my friend. You didn't have to do a whole lot except answer the phone, right?
That's right. That's all I had to do. Thanks, John. All right, then. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds you well, finds you feeling pretty good. Every time this story comes up, it just burns me that, and it seems that the people in Montgomery, Alabama, you know, don't really care much about it. But this family deserves some recompense. They deserve something. And no amount of money will ever bring their father back. Like no amount of money will ever bring my sister back or any of my brothers. The money is not to replace them. It is to help this family hopefully do some of the things they couldn't do. And his wife, because they were prematurely left without a father who hadn't done a thing, at least not on that day. Okay? Anyway, 860-1440 is the number here. It's 8:50 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this?
Gavin.
Yes.
Yeah, they do not care because it wasn't their father, brother, husband, grandfather, or anybody else, or their family, so they don't care.
Well,
so they should do something. They should do something for the family.
They should. 16,800 days ago, the city of Montgomery, the police department, took his life, and it took 38 years for them to go out to the house and tell him what they did. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Kevin.
Yes.
We need to. I'll say it again. We need to look into the form of city council we have. We need to look into that and check out what we may need to change to.
Well,
okay?
They changed it to this. They had a commission sort of thing back in 1975. They changed it to the city and the mayor and the city council thing. I mean, you're still going to have problems whichever system you put in place. You know,
but when a council changes laws to benefit them and they're supposed to be helping the people, I don't see where this council system is helping the people. If they don't want something to happen, they just put in an ordinance. Okay?
Well, again, you know, all we can do as citizens is ask our representatives or demand our representatives do their duty. And I think the city of Montgomery has a debt to pay to this family. And I'm not going to, and it keeps coming. And after me, hopefully there'll be somebody else come up with it. I mean, it's been coming up for 30 years since I have been here, and yet we still haven't done anything about it.
And why is it in this state, when somebody go to speak at the city council meeting, if they're not on the agenda, their name not put on public communication area?
That I can't. That I can't answer.
What they're speaking on not put on there, and then the citizens leave before that time. Okay. They don't want your name to be put down there and you speaking on something.
Well, when I first and I appreciate your call. When I first got here, I noticed that the citizens were put last when it comes to public comments. We pay the bills, we pay the tax. The citizens should be put first. If somebody's got to stay there for hours and take care of the city's business, then let that be the city council person and not make me wait all day long to say what I got to say. Well, the city of Montgomery, now in Prattville, they used to do it. I don't know what they do now, but the citizens went first. Because after all, we are the boss of them, and they're not the boss of us. However, so I never have figured out why we take the people who pay all the bills and make them last. I never have figured that out. It's almost like we work for them. I don't, maybe somebody on the city council can call them and tell me, 860-1440. Why do we let the citizens be last? And maybe that's why the Whitehurst thing has been going on for so long. Because the people, in my mind, considering the pecking order at the city council meeting, we're last to say anything. We really don't count. So that's just where, it is what it is, Good morning.
I just wonder why you haven't received a call from any of the city council people, the mayor office, or some of his people from his office called in this morning to get involved in this conversation.
Yeah, I don't
know why.
I can't say that everybody listens to me because I don't know. Maybe there's only 2 people listening. I don't know.
They call sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, but I don't know why they.
Well, when they want to hang up certain flags and all that stuff around town, they get involved, don't they?
Yeah, they get involved in that, but oh well. Anyway, I just think we got a lot of chickens. We have a lot of chickens. We
got a lot of politicians that are in there for a paycheck only.
Well, they're not. Well, again, I don't mind getting a paycheck because all the crap you got to put up with human beings, I feel for them for that. But again, you have to have courage, and courage doesn't.
Let me go and say it. Let me go and be blunt like I normally do.
Yeah.
Do the damn job.
Exactly. Do the job, and part of that job is looking out after the citizens, and when a wrong is done, to correct it. That is part of our city council's job, at least in my own humble opinion. Now, I'm going to call them all personally and ask them where do they stand on giving this family at least something after 18,000 days of nothing. 18,800 days of nothing. So, we'll see. We'll see what they say. If they ignore me, I know what they're saying. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Kevin. This is Phyllis. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Great. I have a question, and it's probably going to sound like you. But at any rate, what was the response of our previous mayor to this request?
Todd said that he didn't feel that the city owed because that was a time on other administration, and his concern was if you open up Pandora's box, you're going to get a bunch of people, and him I certainly vehemently disagreed on that. We're going to get a lot of people coming saying, well, you did me wrong. This happened to me and this happened. Yeah, well, if you're dead, you can't. We're talking about somebody who was killed. So he wasn't he wasn't for it. But again, if the city council's for it, I would imagine it go through. So, but that was his position on that, and I think I asked Bobby Bright too. And I think Bobby Bright's position was they're too concerned about image and about whether or not somebody else is gonna when that box gets open. All the people that have been done wrong gonna come. Well, we ain't looking for the people been done wrong. We talking about the people been killed by the Montgomery Police Department. So,
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
But I did ask, and that's one of the few things that I and Todd just don't agree on. I think they should have did this a long, long time ago. But anyway, my time's up. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully everybody will be here the same. And again, if you got a letter you need to get to me, you need to be here by Monday. Monday, close the business, okay, for our Helping Hands thing, okay? So you just got to get it up here now, okay? So, because I got things to do the rest of the week, because we're going to actually, Christmas is Saturday, so Friday's going to, so we're going to do this on Wednesday, me and Randy. All right, I got time to take one more call, then we're going to get out of here. Good morning, who's this? What an idiot. Whoever that is. Anyway, gotta go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. The good Lord says the same.
You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this. For fifth, minor four, and the major lift, the bass, the king.
Your WSMA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning.